Mucus clears out bacteria from the lung. Pumping cilia cause the mucus to flow upward to the top of the lung. But how do the cilia push the mucus all the way to the top of the throat? This is a hard job, coordinated by trillions of cilia. By rhythmically beating back and forth, the cilia sweep the mucus up the lung airways to the top of the throat. The cilia are very mighty for their tiny size. They are so small that it would take 10 cilia from tip to tail to go across the width of a human hair. Yet through teamwork and ceaseless beating, the cilia can cause the entire mucus lining to flow upward and clear germs out of your body. This microscope video shows the mucus flow across the bumpy pink lung cells. We have slowed the cilia down so we can watch them work. Can you see the cilia pushing the mucus upward? The tiny cilia beat about 15 times per second to quickly clear out the bacteria. But how does clearance work? We need to find out. We know it is up to the mucus and the cilia to push the bacteria out of the body. Starting deep inside the lung, let's follow the bacteria to the end of their journey, the throat. Bacteria trapped in the mucus must be pushed all the way up to the throat to be cleared from the lungs to keep you healthy. The branching in the lung looks a lot like the branches of a tree. Just like the tree's smallest twigs merge together until they form the trunk, the airways deep inside the lung start small and branch together until they form the throat. In the human lung, there are about 15 levels from the smallest branches to the top of the lungs. As more and more airways converge, the mucus collects and the number of particles trapped grows larger and larger. Once the bacteria reach the top of the throat, the mucus is swallowed. Your body has successfully cleared its airways. But when you breathe in, more bacteria and dust particles enter your airways. Oh no! Clearance is a repetitive cycle, and the cilia never stop the fight against infection. Let's take a closer look at the mucus flow to see how the job is done. What happens to the mucus as the cilia push it out of the lung? Imagine the crowded hallways of a school when everyone is leaving the classrooms to head to lunch. The students walk together at the same speed as they head to the cafeteria. When two hallways converge, the traffic stops because there are too many people arriving at the same time. The main hallway is not big enough for all the students at one time. Like in the hallways, the branching point of an airway has a similar traffic problem. Let's look at the place where two smaller airways converge to form one. These cylinders have an equal volume, but the two merging airways have a larger total boundary than the merged airway. Notice that the boundary of the bigger airway is not twice, but 1 2/5 times as big as the smaller airways. Watch the mucus as it travels through these airways. If the speed stays the same, the thickness of the mucus layer would grow bigger and more cramped, like the crowded hallways. Or, if the thickness of the mucus were to stay the same, the speed of the mucus traveling in the larger airway would have to be faster than the smaller airways. This may not seem like such a big deal, but remember that this little branch is only a small part of the whole lung. There are tens of thousands of branching points throughout the lung. The throat needs to accommodate the mucus flow of the entire lung. If the mucus builds up at every branch, too much mucus will block the airway and you will drown in your own snot. Gross! Or else, if the speed stays the same, mucus flowing at the very bottom airways would be so slow that it would never reach the top of the throat to be swallowed. Something more complicated has to be going on. Could it be that the cilia are densely packed near the bottom of the airway to help push the mucus upward faster? Or maybe some of the mucus fluid is absorbed back into the body so the airways do not clog. How exactly do the lungs clear out mucus so efficiently? We don't know. Can you help us find the answer? Solving problems like these may help people who have trouble clearing the bacteria from their lungs, like those who suffer from cystic fibrosis. It is clear to see that mucus clearance is a complicated but necessary part of the respiratory system. Because of the teamwork of trillions of cilia and sticky, germ-catching mucus, our lungs breathe well and help keep us healthy.